Hey guys, Sean C. Phillips here, and I'm doing a video. It's starting to get a little dark, but I'm doing a video on, people have asked me to do this for a long time, showing what I do on Tuesdays, you know, where I go to get the DVDs. I did a thing like this a long time ago. It was more about like where I get the DVDs, and I talked more about things like online, like Amazon, CD Universe. Now I pretty much use Amazon for online things. But this is pretty much the things that I do, almost like a Shane Jensen, you know, Friday Night Ritual. Well, this is sort of a Tuesday ritual, which is going to Best Buy, you know, eating at Jersey Mike's in the car, you know, then going over to Fry's Electronics, then going over to Walmart. So it's pretty much, you know, the things that I do and where I get the DVDs. I'm basically just doing this because people have asked about this before, and I can't really show too much in the stores. You know, I'll show whatever I can, you know, a quick shot or something. But, you know, I'll, maybe show all the DVDs I pick up or something. I have ordered now Camp Nowhere because I figured that may be difficult to find in the stores. But anyway, though, this is just for the guys that have, you know, people that have really wanted to see this. So now I'm going to go, before it gets pitch dark, to the area where the Best Buy is. So now here we are on the road. You know, I'm behind this bus now. But yeah, I'm on the way to the Best Buy area. It's always kind of crazy around this area. And there ain't lane lanes. I can't do too much when I'm driving because, like, you're not supposed to even be on the phone. And they might think I'm, like, texting or something. Look at this goose in the wrong lane, causing all this backup. Like, supposed to, you know, this is a right turn lane. They're like, stop here. I don't know what they're doing. Well, here I am at the Jersey Mike's place. Now, I normally go there first because I haven't eaten anything yet. I usually eat late. It's already 6:38 and I haven't eaten anything, but I usually eat late in the day. But, now the one thing you should know about Jersey Mike's, I think it's kind of important. Now, at Jersey Mike's, if you're not in the mood to discuss your life, don't go in there, because they always ask you, what's your plans for the evening? You know what I mean? They ask you everything about your life. So if you don't like talking about yourself, I would recommend not going in there or sending in a scout to get the sub for you if you can't, you know, deal with discussing yourself. You know, I will admit sometimes it's a little annoying, and sometimes I want to make up like a joke about what I'm going to do at the sub, because they ask, you know, so many things about your life, and I'm not kidding. You know, it's basically like a sub place that they had like in Maryland, like New Jersey kind of subs. I like that kind of sub better. I like it better than Subway because they have the hots, you know, for the sub. They don't have that anywhere else out here. But you know, there's no real order to do, you know, to this thing that I do on Tuesdays. But I normally just do this first, like I said. But you know, next I'll go to Best Buy, and I'll, you know, maybe I'll get a shot inside. I don't know. But, you know, these are the kind of videos are always kind of strange to do, but, you know, people wanted to see this for a long time. So anyway, though, I'll show you the submarine sandwich in a second. Now this is probably one of the, you know, the messiest subs in the entire world. But in there they said, "Are you doing anything fun tonight?" And I was like, you know, I'm always tempted to say a joke to that kind of thing, you know, but I don't. I hold it back and don't say a joke to those kind of things. But, you know, I'm not sure if maybe they're trying to figure out, you know, if there's fun events going on by, like, scoping out, by asking everybody that. I don't know. I think it's kind of like Walmart. They're, like, forced into saying that. But, you know, tonight, you know, hopefully at midnight they're going to add it, is the Human Centipede 2 on demand. You know, they didn't play it in any theaters that I could have gotten to. You know, I'm looking forward to seeing it. I know it's going to be cut up a bit, but, you know, that's definitely, you know, it's a twisted, weird movie, but, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm the first one. But, I'm going to eat this and then go into Best Buy. Well, here I am going into the Best Buy, and I usually look at what came out new. I usually know, too, what I'm coming in here for. I also look and see what the sales are, you know, like the movies that are like $7.99 or $9.99, things like that. I noticed, too, Target, another note, is like dropping prices a lot on older Blu-rays and DVDs and stuff. And I think they're just trying to compete and have better prices. I've noticed that a lot lately. Like I said, I don't know if I'll really show anything in here, as I've done that in the past and it doesn't always go well. Here's a quick thing. I'm going to get the Horrible Bosses, and they have this Final Destination 3 for $9.99 in here. Well, I ended up doing pretty good in there. I ended up finding a bunch of stuff out early. Not the Horrible Bosses or Final Destination, but they put out, and this is Best Buy, Red State. Now, if you ever found something like this out early at Fry's, the computer would go off and wouldn't let you get it. I found Red State early. I found The Crow early. And I found The Howling Reborn early. They also had, you know, I didn't want it, but they had Monte Carlo early, which was pretty surprising, because that's more of a really big mainstream title to have out early. I looked for that Hellraiser one. You know, I don't know if I want to get that or not. And I looked for everything else, but these are the only things I could find. But that was pretty many things to put out early, so now I'm going to have to be looking at this one way more often to see if they screw up a lot. But I couldn't believe I found Red State already. Yeah, because I know they're all supposed to be out, I think, next week. Well, I never, I'm going into Fry's now. I never buy too much in here. Occasionally find some sort of obscure things, but usually go to that Best Buy. Like I said, if you ever find anything out early, here, you can't get it. They, put it back and, chastise you really bad. I had that happen before. And I was like, can't you just let me get it? And they're like, no. So I've learned to never pick it up if I find it. Just, wallow in shame. One thing I will say is they have a pretty good horror selection in here. I found this Terry. I forgot this came out today in here. Now here I am at Walmart. I normally would go in the side door in the garden thing. And they don't normally close it till 9, but it was already closed up tonight. And the guy that says, welcome to Walmart, in the end down here, is always really scary the way he says. He's like, welcome to Walmart. In this creepy, serial killer's way. I don't know. And I almost feel like he doesn't work there. He just stands there. But yeah, I don't really expect to find much in here. Because I pretty much found everything, especially finding everything out early like that, Like I said, though, if you ever find anything early at Fry's, don't bother with it. There's one thing about Walmarts is some Walmarts are really different with what they carry. Some carry, the obscure horror movies, and other ones totally don't have any of them. So there's, no rhyme or reason for it. And there's the new releases over there. Well, didn't find anything in there. I will say, though, they have a deal going on for that Scream 5 Blu-ray set, with the first 3 movies and then those documentaries, for only $20. So that was pretty good. But I already have all those, except for those documentaries. But it might have been mismarked. I don't know. It seems a little cheap for all that. Well, I'm pretty much done now. I didn't really get anything there, so hopefully, you guys enjoyed seeing this little video of just the places that I go on Tuesdays. Maybe I'll do one of these every couple months or so, if people like them. But, people ask me about doing these, so I figured I would try and do one. Anyway, though, thanks a lot for watching and subscribing, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.